All right, very good evening. Welcome to Big Talk, a program where we highlight political issues concerning Nigeria. My name is Ubong Osoro, welcoming you to the show. On the show tonight, we'll be talking about the place of opposition and the place of politics as we look forward towards 2027 general elections. A lot is happening already. We are seeing some political parties who are releasing statements concerning the new Electoral Act, and even some still complaining or having different thoughts about the elections that was held on the 21st of February. That's the FCT local council election. So we have joining us to help make sense of this discussion the Secretary of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA FCT chapter, Obiesie Chika, who's joined us tonight on the program as we look at politics of 2027. The opposition parties brace for tough polls. Thank you so much, Mr. Bond, like I like to call you, for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
It's good to see you, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Right. So your party participated in the FCT local council elections. Can you tell me some of the lessons that you've learned from that contest?
Thank you so much. Yeah. My party participated actively in last local government election in FCT. And it was an experience that we, as a party, we need to digest and see how we can chart a way forward. Because the experience we have, we came to understand that politics, especially the type of political maneuvering in FCT, the last election, it was something that is huge. And going forward, Nigeria wouldn't have any place if that continued. Democracy in Nigeria, it's nothing to write home about if that continues. You understand? So as a party, our experience and what we observe, it's huge vote buying.
In the last FCT local council election.
Huge vote buying. And
who were those that were buying the votes? Are they political parties? You could give us names.
Yeah, the political party, it's everybody knew. The political party that were buying the votes, and it's not hidden. It's APC. And
APC bought votes?
Yes. I monitored the election from Amak to Kuje to Gwagwalada up to Kwali. I moved around and I saw. It's not something that... And the worst part of it is that the security apparatus who are supposed to checkmate all these things, they look the other way why these things are going on. Especially our party in Kuje, our agents were arrested. Seriously. It took the intervention of our national chairman for them to be released after spending like 5 days in detention. So, oppositions are not given any fair playing ground to express themselves.
Right. Is it at the point of the election day? Because it seems the campaign were relatively peaceful. We saw the candidates of various parties campaigning, and sometimes in the same location, and we never heard of any problem.
Yes, the campaigns were relatively peaceful, but I believe I was in Gwagwalada 3 days before the election. I participated I followed them for their campaign and observed. My observation that day is there was a huge fracas between APC and PDP in Gwagwalada, where houses were touched, but I think it was not on the news. But in the hinterland, they were trouble. So it's not all that peaceful, but people that move around know.
So it seems that what we're seeing is a pattern, right? That the opposition but we've had opposition also win in this particular just concluded FCT election, where we saw the PDP winning Gwagwalada, like you mentioned.
Yes.
We know PDP was announced as the winner of Gwagwalada. The APC won the other local council area. Do you think that results resonated or showed the will of the people? And what is the position of your party concerning that result?
In Gwagwalada?
In different places.
In different places.
Different
Our position is that we now saw that masses are the major cause of what we are seeing in Nigerian politics today. Because if our experience on that day concerning vote buying, like I said, when they approach them, somebody who you have campaigned and canvassed to, and the polling units, you see him saying, okay, if it is so, let me collect what they are offering. And that this is my own national cake. Let me collect what they're offering and vote. Even when they know that they are suffering, but they don't want to emancipate themselves. That's what I observe on that particular.
Right. So, is it comfortable to blame the masses, knowing that many of these persons are living in poverty? There seems to be a lot of poverty around, and people can barely even get by in the country.
That's what the opposition party, that's what the ruling party has succeeded in doing. They weaponize poverty. So when people see that I don't have hope, and the only thing I have now is to get whatever that comes to me, let me have it and forget about tomorrow. But we believe that with what we have seen and the change that the opposition are clamoring to do, things will get better.
All right, so let's look at Voter Our Party. That was one of the things I recognized because I covered the elections too. I went from LEA Primary School, that was the RAC Center at Lugbe, to places in Gariki and around City Center here. And I also moved a bit with the INEC chairman on that election day. Where the places I went to, I didn't see vote buying. I didn't see that. Although I've heard some persons report to that. Maybe it was in the interlands, but I didn't see that. I didn't see intimidation. The people were allowed to vote who they wanted to vote. So, but what I noticed glaringly was that I captured them some on my camera, was that I saw young people playing football on election day. I also saw a lot of persons who were not interested in coming to vote. They were just going about their business or maybe just staying at home. So there were some polling units I observed that the turnout was very low. So I'd like to ask, did you notice Voter Our Party? 1.6 million people were said to have registered by INEC, but if you look at the total number of votes casted for the FCT local council elections, it wasn't even up to 30% of that vote. So what could be the cause of that?
Okay, thank you so much. I think that vote apathy in FCT, there's sort of improvement in this particular election. Because ordinarily, you will see somebody winning a councillorship election with 900 votes. You understand? You see somebody winning an area council election with less than 15,000 votes. But in this case, you saw we have about 40,000.
Right.
So there is improvement. But people are not interested, especially when it comes to city center, because I believe that the city center that you observe, people are not interested. The bourgeoisie who lives around the city centers are not interested with whatever that is happening around the area council elections. They are most interested in FCTs. When you come to presidential election, you see people turning out. But once it's area council election, they are not interested. You understand? I believe mostly because the area council governance are not reaching down to the grassroots as supposed to be, and most of the things they do, it's people don't recognize them. People don't know that they exist because the dividend of democracy are not being trickled down to the to the grassroots. And more so, people are not interested because of when you come to FCT, you see that Federal Capital Treasury ministers are doing most of the work. And once the ministers are doing most of the people are not interested, they don't ask questions. So once it comes to elections, you don't see them participate.
Right. So one of the other things I also observed was that it seems we didn't really have a robust interrogation of manifestos. Yes, people campaigned, but I wasn't so in tune with some of the forms of campaign. It looked more of like carnivals and rallies, but interrogation of ideas, which is supposed to be the bane of democracy, interrogation of policies, seem to be missing in our democracy. We've even had a situation at the national level where a debate was organized for a presidential candidate, and a presidential candidate came and didn't go inside because another presidential candidate was not there, right? So most times they are not even interested in speaking to the people. Is that something we noticed? Yeah. And if that is something we noticed, how can we change that trend?
You know, when you talked about manifestos and all debates, I think that's where we blame mostly about media. They ought to have been the watchword, the the watchdog of whatever that the political environment is bringing. The civil society, they should mobilize and even sensitize people, you understand, on this. And you know, that's why I said most of this mostly area council election in FCT, people are not interested, including journalists, including the civil organizations. They are not interested. If they are interested, they ought to have put these things on the plate. And candidates will come and tell the masses, the masses what they want to offer or what they intend to offer. You understand? For the masses to make their choices. But it's not done. What plays out is money politics. You understand? People go into organizations, the candidates go into organizations, donating out money to them and going to chiefs, donating out money to them. And at the end of the day, you see the people, the chiefs, or the what do you call it, the organizations they visited, you won't see them. No, they can't compel anybody to come out. The politics of going to the masses, that should be the grassroots politics. Tell the masses what you want to offer. And that's when the masses will say, okay, this is a laudable policy. Let me go. This one will change my life. But they don't. So if they come out on that day, they will be looking out for who to give them money, and they will vote for the person, and that's what they believe.
Right. So how do we change the trend?
I think the trend, they need to be changed through sensitization, more publicity, telling people why they should come out to vote. You understand? You have about 6 million votes in FCT, and it's all the area councils come together. They're not up to 100,000.
Right. So another of the things that we noticed, which is on the good side, was that at least in AMAC, the candidates of the major political parties seem to have been very intentional. For instance, we saw the ADC, bringing their national, some of their very prominent members like Mr. Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, and the rest. We saw them walking on the streets. Do you think that gave a more robust image to our democracy, the involvement of this very, grounded politicians in local council elections? This is like the first time we've seen those kind of involvement, because we also saw the FCT minister, coming to campaign for the chairman has been returned as announced by INEC, Christopher Mekalanko.
Right. Okay, let me say this. Them coming out to begin to give some kind of support to the candidates has two effects in this election. Initially, it gave it more publicity. Yes, we understand, but to some extent, they brought what they are doing in the states into FCT, which had never happened before. The kind of vote buying that we saw in FCT and the kind of intimidations that we saw in FCT had never happened before. FCT election used to be very peaceful, you understand, but with their intentions of giving support to their candidates, which to them it's all about their selfish interest. It's not about the masses, and I will tell you for free, it's not about the masses. It's about their selfish interest. You need Peter Obi is people understand him and people love him. You understand? But once Peter is not on the ballot, it's a different ballgame. But if it is the one on the ballot, then you see the momentum, you see people coming out. You understand? So anybody that he is supporting, people are looking at the personality of that person, not the person that is supporting him. That's the truth.
But what we saw a trend in when Buhari was contesting elections in 2015, we saw a trend that even politicians of the PDP then, who weren't of the APC, who put Buhari's picture in the north, and some person said that gave them votes. So Peter Obi doesn't have that kind of cult followership that anybody lives, because even in Anambra, he campaigned for a Labour Party candidate, and the Labour Party didn't even come first or second.
That's what I'm saying. It's not about Peter. It's about the person. So people are looking at the person, not the person supporting him. You understand? If Peter is on the ballot, he will make a very big difference. But once he's not on the ballot, that he's supporting somebody. I think I always make this argument. I said Peter and the presidential election, he win about
6 million.
states.
6 million.
But he won 11 states.
Yes.
But it's only one state that they got on the governorship election. So you begin to see it's not about Peter.
But people say if the presidential election was held the same day as the governorship election, maybe they would have won more states.
That's what I'm saying. It's about Peter, not about the person he is supporting. So once he is not on the ballot, he is not contesting on that particular day, people will look the other way around. You understand? That's the truth. Okay, many people that won on that particular day
senators,
where are they
House
today?
of Representatives.
Where are they today?
Most of them have gone to the APC.
It's not most of all of them. All of them have defected. So what are we saying? So what we are saying is that people should begin to look at who is contesting. What is that person offering? If that person is offering what you like, that's when you begin to see, okay, I will vote for this person, whatnot. So I was following the town hall meeting yesterday, where they were discussing this.
With the INEC chairman and the rest.
You talked about the new Electoral Act. New Electoral Act puts a lot of opposition party
in disadvantage.
You understand? When you begin to the Electoral Act is begin to dictate how internal party system will work. You understand? You said, okay, in giving order and how to a party should organize their
congresses.
You understand? You are putting it that they are these direct primaries. Direct primaries cost a lot. How many parties?
But about Mr. Chika, we've talked about. We're coming to that. But since you mentioned it, let's just look at it. We've talked about the fact that when direct primaries are conducted, the popular candidates tend to emerge from that particular contest. But indirect primaries can be, bought over by the elite or the leadership of the party can easily appoint the kind of leadership they want. And is that not something, because we talked about the fact that in the First Republic, Second Republic, where more of direct primaries will queue behind those who are contesting, maybe we're going back where popularity win, and definitely democracy is about popularity.
Yes. So what I'm saying is that it's not that direct primaries is not good. Okay, let's take for instance, in 2014, APC conducted direct primaries for Buhari, where he got about 40 million votes. But in the real election, how many votes did he have? So that's the point. So the direct primaries give room for manipulations because you cannot monitor it. It should trickle down to the wards. You conduct it up to the wards. So how many political parties, apart from APC, has that deep pocket to begin to finance it, to begin to see the transparency of it? There was one video that was trending sometime, I think in Anambra, where APC was conducting their direct primaries. Somebody will count. If you count 1, 2, 3, you will jump to 20. From 20, you jump to 100. You will see it. So what we are saying is that it is capital intensive, and political parties, it's a way of putting all the opposition parties into difficulties, because once you can't do this, so how do you manage? If you come to INEC will tell you didn't conduct direct primaries, they won't accept you and you won't feature any candidate. So that means that leaves you with the option of
going for direct primaries.
Going for direct primaries. You understand? The option now will give the ruling party a room and an advantage. So it will become a one-party system we are running in Nigeria. So everybody is now going towards the ruling party.
Right. So before we talk about other issues, I like that. Before I leave the FCT now, we saw the caliber of people that came out to contest for AMAC local council chairmanship on different platforms, from the APC to the ADC to the PDP. Even though the PDP, your party, I was coming to that, ABGA, and the rest of the party, SDP. These are people who have made their names. And was this like the first time we've seen this kind of competition where a lot of persons became interested? And why were people so interested this time around in the FCT?
Yeah, you're right. This was the first time that we see this magnitude of competition when it comes to area council election, in especially AMAC. You see people with great ideas, the candidate with great ideas, parties supporting their own. I think it's time, like I will speak from the perspective of my candidate, who is not a politician, but a civil society personality. And he has seen what people are going through. That's where I think he was in your station.
Yeah, he's my very good friend.
He was in your station. And you see his manifesto. You see his smart ideas, where he want to bring in something different from what we are seeing. So I think the exposures that people have.
That's Ezechukwu.
Yes,
the
exposures that people have or have seen and wanted to bring change. There are true people, there are people that truly want to bring change in Nigeria. But the fact is that I'm sorry, because the masses are not truly ready for change.
All right, so you are coming back to the people. In your opinion, the people are the reason why we are where we are as a country, if we are not moving forward.
Yes.
Right, so about different arguments, because people say some of these people have not seen 10,000 in weeks, and this is the only opportunity they have. What can they do? I've heard narrations where people say, get the money, but vote your conscience. But sometimes it could be very difficult to do these things.
Definitely. You can't get the money and vote your conscience. One is that they have evidence, and INEC, to some extent, they tried as much as possible to see how to make this election transparent, more transparent. You understand? But when I was a collation officer for my party at the local government level, you know, when you don't have the materials to begin to argue for the result that comes in, you understand me, you are handicapped. Why I say so is because most of our agents, I told you, they were arrested. So if
you were arrested by
yes.
Who were the ones intimidating them?
It's not this, the only person that can intimidate is the person that has the power. The only person that can intimidate you is the person that has the power over you. So the truth of the matter is that the security agents, they are working for the ruling party. So if somebody with the certified tag of INEC will be arrested.
So has your party filed complaints about these infractions?
No, we are working towards that. We won't sleep. We want to get justice, because when I went to SARS, they were taken to SARS, and to some extent, what were the offense? You understand? Nobody can even say this is the offense. You understand? So the question was, why were they arrested? Somebody who's supposed to be at the polling unit and monitor the results and signed. Most of the results coming in, there was, maybe you see 2 political parties signing the agent's column. So you only see APC. Most times you see Labour Party, Zenel Labour Party. Most times you see, it's not up to 3. When we have about 12, 13 parties that were contesting on the ballot. So what will you do? So you cannot even argue for anything, because there is no evidence that you will use to argue for the final result.
All right, so let's go for a short break, Mr. Chika. When we come back, we'll keep talking about 2027 general elections and what opposition political parties are doing as a brace for what may be tough polls. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Politics decides our economy. Politics shapes our security. Politics defines our future. But who is asking the hard question?
Is intimidating governors to our opposition, and some allegations even say monies are offered to the tune of billions of naira to these governors to come to the APC.
On Big Talk, we take politics beyond party lines and press statements. We interrogate policies, challenge power,
and it shall be addressed,
and demand accountability from those who govern. From the presidency to the National Assembly, from state governments to grassroots politics, we break down the decisions that affect your daily life. No propaganda, no political comfort zone, just facts, context, and fearless conversations. Big Talk is where leaders explain, analysts dissect, and the people understand.
2015 elections were not held. They are doing rigging.
Don't just watch politics, question it. Tune in to Big Talk on Global Television every weekday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation.
Welcome back to the program. If you're just joining us, this is Big Talk, a program where we highlight political discussions concerning Nigeria. Tonight, we're looking at the politics of 2027 as the opposition political parties brace for what may be tough polls. And we have joining us tonight in the studio to help make sense of this discussion, the Secretary of All Progressive Grand Alliance, FCT, chapter, Mr. Obiesehu Chika, who's joined us live in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Chika.
Thank you
for staying with us. Let's look at 2027 now. It seems that a lot of persons are already supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. At the moment, we have 29 governors who are with the APC. it wasn't that much some 1 year ago, even 6 months ago. We've had, in the last 6 months, we've had over 5 governors who defected from various political parties, majorly the PDP to the APC. As we look into 2027 now, do you see what commentators will say election results will be announced before 12 o'clock? We'll know the winner.
I want to, yesterday, like I told you, I was following the town hall meeting.
The town hall dialogue, yeah.
A question was thrown by the organizer, Shehu, to APC national chairman. Said, I think what brought about it was the man representing Kuka Center. He was emphasizing on that in Electoral Act that they should enshrine that anybody that, any person that defects should relinquish his position because it's for the party. And what that is what the Constitution says. It's the party that is on the ballot and not the candidate. So, but when that question was thrown to the APC national chairman, he said, yes, that is good, that people are coming, that other political parties are dead. That was exact his word, that APC is managing their affairs very well. That's what people looked at, and all the governors are defecting. But it's not good for our democracy. It's not good for our democracy. What this present government is trying to achieve is to lead us to have one party system, which is wrong if we are talking about democracy. And the fact that masses will speak, and that is why we are clamoring for the real-time transmission of results. If we have real-time transmission of the manipulations, will be less, and the vote will count. So I think the National Assembly should do justice to whom they are representing, which are the masses, to quickly amend the Electoral Act,
that has been signed,
and make it to be a compulsory and mandatory for real-time transmission of results. That will save Nigeria. That will save Nigeria democracy. That will save Nigeria as a nation. Because Nigeria as a nation, with what is going on, we are gone.
Do you need these governors to win elections? Let's say the 2027 general elections, presidency. Do you need governors to be able to win? Because some persons have said governors do not matter.
You don't need governors if the vote is going to count. If we have enough transparency in the process by INEC, you don't need governors. We've seen governors, sitting governors, being defeated in election. You understand? Okay, take for instance, in Abia, the governor, the former governor of the PDP then, he wanted to become a senator, but he was defeated, even with incumbents. So what we are saying is that let's have a transparent process where you will vote, your vote will count. That's what Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians are asking. That's what the masses are asking. It's not too much.
Right. So, but let's look at some of the arguments that have been advanced, against the compulsory or compulsory use. Let me say compulsory, because it is mandatory to do electronic transmission in cases where networks are not available. At the discretion of INEC, they can revert to manual. That is what has been signed into law. But some of the arguments has been, we do not have, the network infrastructure to power that system, and we do not also have the electricity to power the system. We're still struggling with these two things. And some persons in the House at the Senate said it will be a disenfranchisement of some persons, especially in areas where these things are not available, to use e-transmission all 100%. So the Senate has also moved some ground, said, yes, electronic transmission is mandatory, but in places where it is not available. And some persons have said those places may not be up to 10% and may not necessarily affect the outcome of the last election at the end of the day. So are you not satisfied with with that. This is a system where people could also argue, and they've also argued and say, okay, this is like one step forward at the meantime.
No, it's not one step forward. It's 10 steps backwards. We are going back to the Egypt with that clause that if. Why if? The fact is that Nigerian, as a country, they have capacity, they have capability to put these things in place. What will it take? You know, one day I was at INEC, I asked them, we were talking about PVC collection. I said, why would you register somebody and you let the person to go home and come back on a later day to collect the PVC? Why you can go to the bank? The bank, before they will process your ATM and give you ATM there, you collect it and go. Why can't they bring that technology? So if Nigerians are talking about areas where there is no network, we have 4 years. Within 4 years, they can provide network anywhere. They budget for it. So if 90% has network to transmit, is it the 10% that will be disenfranchised because there's no network? So with that 10%, you will see what they will maneuver with it. When you said, okay, bring in incident forms. So if 10 people comes to vote and Beavers captured 10 people as accredited, and you have 200 or 2,000 with the incident forms, how will you account for it? That's the question. So we must remove everything that will bring untrust. Obiose Ekwesili was addressing the INEC at the same meeting yesterday. She said that the issue with the masses and INEC is issue of trust. So INEC should remove everything that will make the masses not to trust them, and build trust on the masses, not on the politicians.
Right. But at this level, isn't it? It's not INEC's call to make, because it's an act of law that has been signed by the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The people that are conducting this election, the umpire is the INEC. INEC should speak, not the National Assembly. If INEC said we have network, we have the technology, they should build confidence on the people.
But the same INEC had a glitch in the 2023 general elections. They had a glitch.
Because it was compromised. A deliberate attempt. How can you have a glitch in the same election? You transmitted the National Assembly, then coming to the presidential election that was held the same day, the same time, you said you have a glitch. So who is deceiving who? That's the question.
Right. So we have a new INEC chairman now, Professor George Omopitong, and some persons have said he knows the work that has been cut out for him. It's quite very taxing, because it's a work that no matter where you finish, all Nigerians cannot say you did well. A lot of persons, but you just have to do your best. And he's been saying he wants to do his best. Yes, we've already started with the FCT elections, which, unlike other states where we have the state resident electoral commissioners who are appointed by the state governors or the state electoral bodies, FCT election was conducted by the national INEC. Also this was like a litmus test for his leadership. Yeah, we have Osun State, we have Ekiti before the 2027 general election, which happens to now come back by 1 month, no longer February. It's now January, so we have less than 1 year to that election.
Yes.
What is your assessment of his leadership and how he has started so far? Do you think that the trust reposed on him by Nigerians is actually in the right place?
It's going to be business as usual. His own won't be different because he cannot shoulder the pressure that will come. He can't shoulder it. You see what happened in only 6 area council elections. You see his pronouncement that he's going to review Kuje, he's going to review Kabusa, he's going to review the Buhari. You understand? That shows there are under him the test. He couldn't even pass it. He couldn't pass it. So it's going to be difficult. The pressure will be much on him. He can't walk the talk. He cannot. So let him begin to make the masses to trust him. So the masses will be behind him, not the politicians. If the masses are behind him, his job will be perfect.
Right. So how do you do that? How do you do that? Because the masses are torn between different political parties. They are not in one political party. So some politician, it's very rare in Nigeria to see people concede defeats. Of recent, we rarely have people concede defeats. We see cases going up to the Supreme Court. So how do you gain the trust of the masses? Because even the politicians themselves also could, instigate the masses against your leadership.
Yes. The politicians, to some extent, yes. But what we're saying, when there is an institution and the law, and you go by the law, you understand, then masses will be behind you, because this is what the masses want. They are clamoring for real time, no kind of, what do you call it? You don't have any bad intentions.
Yeah, all right. Just a moment. So you add to that thought. There are also discussions about the fact that people could hack the systems. We've seen, even in the US,
yes,
we've seen systems of companies like Sony and the rest of them being hacked. We've talked about, sometimes Donald Trump talked about Russian hackers and all of that, North Korean hackers. So we've talked about that. The systems are not perfect themselves, and people could hack those systems. So it is very important that we also have the manuals to confirm the systems and not just totally base our elections on one. That's one end. And the other one is that the most developed democracies in the world, even the US, that has done this for more than 200 years, are not solely relying on electronic transmission of results, and even in the UK. So why Nigeria?
No, we are not talking about reliance, total reliance on electronic transmission. What we are talking, you compile your result manually, but once it's moving from polling units to the ward collation center, to the local government collation center, before you get to the state collation center, the figures changes. But if from polling units you now upload, what that would be is to checkmate whatever that is going from the polling unit to the ward to the area council. You understand? So if whatever that is in there is in the IREV is different from what you are bringing, there will be question. You know, Supreme Court threw that away in 2023 because it was not part of the Electoral Act. It was not part of our election collation system. Now, if it is on real time, you transmit, it will be there. So once anybody is bringing anything that is contrary to what was uploaded, you can easily disregard it and deal with the real result that was uploaded.
Right. So the FCT local council elections, I noticed that by 6 p.m., a lot of the area councils were already on INEC's IREF.
Yes.
Was that a good one?
Yes, to some extent, because I think some opposition parties have rejected the results. That means they are going to court. So it's when we get to court that we begin to see the relevance of and the importance of that upload. Right. You understand? Because you can see, I think yesterday the INEC chairman was saying something else, that you have room to begin to do corrections before the result will be announced. You understand? That the SPOs have room to do corrections if their calculation is not right. You understand? So if they are doing the corrections, you have your own evidences to do your own calculations. You understand? To see how it works. One of the results announced that day, I think that should be Kabusa results. It took them, the woman came, it took her after about 3-4 hours to begin to, because what she brought was did not tally. You understand? So it was something that seems it was done in a hurry. You understand? So these are the things, these are the loopholes we want the real time uploading to be corrected.
So can't we do this real time after this 2027? Already we've done one step forward. Can't we wait till 2031?
Why would we wait till 2031 if we can do it now? Why do we wait tomorrow? Let's get things. You see, I don't believe in if you want to learn or you want to get to somewhere, somebody who has gone there will take you there seamlessly. You understand? If we learn from other people and we can get better, why do we wait? It is not do or die affair that will be the president. You have done 4 years.
Some people have said Muhammadu Buhari didn't even sign that into law before he contested 2011 election. He did that after the 2011 election.
That's because, you see, nobody is thinking about Nigeria.
2019.
2019. Before, nobody is thinking about, they are not thinking about you.
But this president has signed it. Signed it, and he was very fast in signing it.
He was very fast in signing it. What he signed is as good as he didn't sign it. What he signed is as good as he didn't sign it. Because he's taking us 20 steps backwards with what he signed. Okay, look at, we are talking about opposition parties. You said, INEC said that they should start doing, what do you call it, e-registrations of members.
We've seen the APC done.
Yes.
APC has done it.
Yes. Sorry. So now these are modalities that they have put in place to make the opposition parties not to work.
Why?
Yes. APC has started doing it. And you have few months to conduct your primaries. And you have, within these 2 months, to have your members registered online. And you have to submit this register, not manual now, to INEC. And with the intention that if you didn't meet up, you won't feel that any candidate. We talked about direct primaries.
Right.
How many political opposition parties have the money to sponsor direct primaries? And if you don't do it, you cannot field in a candidate. You understand? So that leaves the only one party who has started strategizing. So if you want to do it, give timeline give timeline to these opposition parties to organize themselves. Because the government is not sponsoring political parties. They are not funding them. Right. We are talking about the vote buying. How do they get the ruling party get the money to buy votes? We were approached.
Your party?
Yes, we were approached for us to step down. And money we are promised. But because my candidate, he said he doesn't want to kill his political career. So he has somewhere he's going. So he rejected it. So if they don't have that deep pocket, where do they get the money? So if they really want the direct entry, direct primaries, the government should begin to sponsor the political parties like during Obasanjo time. You give them money because politics is all about money. So that is why I said we are not ready yet. We are not ready yet.
Right. So you've talked about governments sponsoring opposition parties, but let me ask you the last question now for the program as we round up the program. I'd like to ask, do you see the opposition putting up a very strong battle with the APC in 2027? Now we have Peter Obi. In the last election, he had 6 million votes. And Alhaji Atiku Abubakar had over 8 million votes. He's now in the ADC. Peter Obi is in the ADC. We have other stalwarts. And maybe any other political party. Do you see, if the opposition come together, do you see them giving the APC a run for their money?
The fact is, can they come together? All of them have ambitions. All these people you call, can they come together? But if they can, that would be a good move forward. But I don't see them coming together.
Thank you so much, Obiese Chika, the State Secretary of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA. We wish you and your party all of the best. You still have a governor, you know, unlike other political parties.
Yes, we still have a governor. And he's doing well.
Is he really doing well?
He's doing well.
Right.
I will take you to Anambra so that you see for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Investigative journalism there.
I'll be waiting to go on that trip, right? So I pray he does not join the APC.
No, he's not. APGA is a movement.
The PDP used to say so.
APGA doesn't make noise, but it's a movement.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, people, that's the size of our program for tonight. Remember, Nigeria is our country. We must continue to love this country, show loyalty and patriotism. My name is Ubong Osoro in Abuja, and I'm saying bye for now.